y'all, Sierra aka Capricorn Moon Goddess, back with another candle testing video. This is the West Coast jar from 1617. This is a part of their jar line that comes with the bamboo wooden lids. So I might put a picture on the screen, or this might be a part of another video where I'm actually showing the jar. So if it's not a part of another video, I will put the picture on the screen so y'all can see what it looks like with the lid. But anyways, this is the matte white. They have a couple different colors. I'm thinking about getting the chocolate colored one also. It holds 7 to 8 ounces of wax according to their website. I have 7 ounces of wax in here and 0.55 ounces of fragrance oil. So I use the 8% fragrance oil. I'm also testing their new scent, Grand Domme. Okay, it's like a bergamot scent. Y'all, my flash went off because my battery's about to go dead. So anyway, let me quit talking and get to the point because my battery done went dead. Alright, so this is a golden 464 wax. Not the type of wax I typically like to use, but it's all that I have right now. I usually use 4630 or satin soy from Makesy, but hey, if this fragrance does well in 464, it's going to do well in the other waxes. 464 is more difficult to work with than the other waxes. I didn't have any tunneling or anything like that when I poured this, and I didn't even make sure it was the right temperature. I think I poured it too hot, and I still didn't have any tunneling or anything like that. Again, I use 8% fragrance load. This is the Grand Domme fragrance oil from 1617, and I think I cut my wig too short. So anyway, I'm gonna light this, and then I will come back in about an hour, and by then my phone should be charged so I can use my flash, and we will see what the fragrance is like. Okay, so I'm testing the jar as well as the fragrance. I just made this a couple hours ago. If you don't already know, I do not allow my candles to cure before I test the fragrance. I want to know if the fragrance is going to be strong the exact same day I make the candle. Most people will let their candle cure or sit for a couple days or even a week or longer. That's not how I roll, okay? If it doesn't work the same day I make it, I don't want to use it. And you will be surprised how many scents actually do smell strong even without the candle curing. So I don't know if candle curing is really necessary. I'm not really sure. Is there some science behind that? We need to look into that because I don't do that and I don't have any problems. But anyway, I will see y'all in the next clip. Bye. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all the size wick that I use. So 1617 recommends a CDN size 6, so that's what I used. I kind of wanted to push the limit and use a CDN 10 because I don't have a whole lot of CDN 6s, and that's the next size up that I have. But I was like, no, don't do that. Do what they said. Do what they said. They said CDN 6. Use one CDN 6 and see how that works, okay? So this is one CDN 6 wick. Y'all know I love to double wick, but we're going to see how this one wick works out for us. So see y'all in the next clip. It has been more than an hour, like way longer than an hour. So sorry. I got caught up doing something else, so I am just now back taking a look at this candle. And as you can see, it looks like it could possibly tunnel, but it actually looked a lot worse when I first lit it. I was like, oh, this is gonna tunnel all the way down. But I'm surprised that the wax pool has spread out as much as it has, because it was looking bad earlier. And I think that's because I cut the candle wick down too far down. I cut it too short by accident. So it could be that, or it could happen if I would have left the wick the right size. I'll never know unless I do a whole nother test, okay? So I probably would just go ahead and double wick it because that's just how I am. I just like to double wick stuff to make it easier. As far as the scent, it is a lot smokier when you actually light it as a candle. It took a while for me to actually even really smell the bergamot, the citrus. The citrus was kind of taking a back seat to the smokiness for a while. And I'm just now able to smell some of the citrus and the musk. I don't really smell smokiness in this when I smell it out of the bottle. So it could be that if you want to retain more of the citrus scent, you might have to make wax melts or room spray, something that isn't actually burned as far as a fire. And slight bit of that fuel smell that you can kind of get when you have a lemon type of candle. It did smell like that just a little bit when I initially lit the candle. It doesn't smell like that anymore. I will say this is enough to scent a small bathroom. And again, I used 8% fragrance, and this is 464 wax, and I didn't let it cure at all. Like, as soon as the candle cooled off, I took some pictures and I lit it, okay? The reason why I like to do that is because I like for my candles to be extremely strong. And I know that if I am able to use it the same day and I get a good scent throw without curing it, then I shouldn't have any problems as far as the candles being strong for my customers by the time they get it. Because, of course, they're not going to get a candle that I made the same day. Scent throw could be stronger in my opinion, but I did only use 8%. I don't feel like this one is meant to be extremely in your face strong because it is a citrus type scent. And those type of scents just aren't strong. I think one of the strongest citrus would probably be like pineapple. But like lemon and bergamot, those tend to evaporate fairly quickly into the air. So that could be why I smell a lot of the smokiness too. I don't know how I feel about this one. I will let y'all know when I come back in my next clip. It's like I like it, but I don't like it. And it is called Grand Domme, and it does say something about old world. And I think that is right. I think they hit the nail on the head. Because something about it, I don't know. But then, like, the smokiness is reminding me of a fall day in the Midwest. I grew up in the Midwest, but I live in Texas, the South now. But something about this reminds me of, like, how it would smell in the fall time outside in the Midwest. I might have to use this for an inner child candle because it's taking me back. Anyways, I am rambling at this point, so I will see y'all in the next clip. Alright, y'all. So, this is day 2. This candle has been lit for about 3 hours. As you can see, it's not necessarily giving me a full melt cool with this one wick. And it's possible that it could, by the time that the candle gets to the bottom, this outer edge could end up catching up and melting. However, I'm not too pleased with the scent for what I was going for. I was hoping that this would be more of a spa type scent because people were saying the bergamot really stood out when they were doing their reviews. However, I noticed those people, they didn't use the scent for candles. They used them for Bath and Body products. So I will say out of the bottle, the bergamot does stand out more. So it's possible that it also stood out more when they were making their Bath and Body products. However, in a candle, sometimes the fragrance smells different when you're burning it. Even different from if you were just to put it in a wax melt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a candle warmer to melt this down. And I'm going to add in some lime fragrance oil because I was going for more of a lime bergamot type scent. Okay, so y'all see that I have my candle warmer here. This is where I put candles that I just want to warm instead of burn. So I'm gonna remove this candle, but as y'all can see, if you've never used a candle warmer or know how it works, it basically melts the whole candle down. So I'm going to put this candle on there, melt it down, and then add in some more fragrance oil. I'm not at my maximum fragrance load because I only use 8% fragrance in the first place, so I can go ahead and add more. So give me one moment. Alright, so I have put this on the candle warmer, so we're going to let this melt down and add some more fragrance oil of a different type. Also, this is a good way to clean out your candle jars. Once you get to the bottom of the candle and there's still a little bit of wax left over, you can put it on a candle warmer to melt the wax and then wipe it out. And then remove the wick and then reuse your jar. So just a little tip on how to reuse your jar as well. So I will come back after this is melted all the way down. We're going to put some lime fragrance oil in here and see if I can get what I was looking for. See y'all in the next clip. Alright y'all, so as y'all can see, it is pretty much melted all the way down. I got stuff to do. I don't have time to wait for this little rim to melt, so I'm gonna use a heat gun to melt the little rim part so I can pour this into my glass measuring cup and mix in the rest of the fragrance oil. So give me a moment. Alright, so now we got it pretty much melted where we need it to be. So now I'm going to transfer this into a glass measuring pitcher. Okay, so I have transferred or poured out the wax into a glass container and put it back on the candle warmer just to keep it warm so I can wipe out the jar. Now this is a matte jar. This process is more difficult when you have a matte jar because if you get anything on the outside of the jar, that strips away the matte from the jar. So it will no longer be matte. It will just be a regular type of jar. So you have to be really careful. I don't know if I can hold my phone and do this at the same time, but I usually will take a knife or something that you can, get hot, and I will lift the wick tab off while it's still hot. But I can't do that and hold this at the same time and also make sure I don't mess up my jar. So I'll come back after I do that. Okay, so as y'all can see, I got it off. There's still some residue from the wick sticker. And that's because this is fairly new. I just made this candle, and if you leave it on the wax melter long enough or put your heat gun on it, that will help to melt the glue from the wick sticker, and usually it'll just slide right off. So I'm going to have to use my knife to scrape this. It's best to do it while it's warm. You just have to make sure you're being really careful. And then I'm going to wipe out the inside and re-pour a totally different candle with a whole new wick. Okay, so as you can see, I was able to use my knife to scrape up the wick sticker. So I'm just going to put some tissue. I usually do this with paper towels, but I'm out of paper towels. So I'm just going to put some tissue in here to soak up the wax while it is still warm. And then I'm going to wipe out my jar. Alright, so I took a wet wipe and I cleaned out the jar while it was still on the candle holder. I'm going to pick it up and clean it some more. You want to make sure you be careful when you are handling this, since it is going to be a warm to hot jar. And then I'm going to put another wick in here, and then I'm going to add some more fragrance oil to my wax. So I added some more fragrance oil, and I have re-wicked my jar, so let's just pour this in the jar. Okay, so this is the jar. It has been re-wicked. Okay, so I have it on this seed planter thing, because I swear my table is slanted and my candles been turning out slanted lately. I'm like, what is up with my table? So yeah, I have it on here so it is not slanted until I figure out what's going on with my table. But just some notes. So I actually used my heat gun to warm up the wax before I added some more fragrance oil. It was warm, but I didn't know if it was hot enough for the fragrance oil to mix properly. So I did warm it some more with my wax, or with my heat gun. I added I think 0.29 more ounces of fragrance oil, and that was that makes it a total of 12% fragrance load, almost around 12%. I didn't burn a whole lot of this candle last night, so it's still around 0.12%, even though I used, or it's still around 12%, even though I used some of the, or burned some of the candle. I added the margarita fragrance oil from Nature's Garden to give it more of a lime bergamot type fragrance. So hopefully I will be happy with the results. We shall see. Okay, so I will come back. All right, y'all. So the candle solidified and all that stuff, and I went ahead and relit it, but my phone needed to charge, so I wasn't able to show y'all what it looked like before I relit it. But this is 2 Premier 745 wicks in here. And it already smells so much better, in my opinion. It just smells more of what I was going for now that I added some margarita essential oil, which is not essential oil, fragrance oil. I added some margarita fragrance oil, which is basically just lime fragrance oil. There's still a bit of the smoky element to it. I actually just came from getting my son from school, and when we were, he goes to school around the corner, so we were walking back home, and I was like, it smells like how that candle smelled outside. Like, so the Grand Dame fragrance oil, for me, like I was saying, it smells like fall air to me. There's like some kind of smokiness, hickory type smokiness to it, but not in the way of like how it would smell if you go to like a barbecue pit restaurant. Not like that, but just like how it smells outside on a fall day when there's leaves on the ground, there's a little bit of floral, a little bit of grass, a little bit of citrus, and this smoky type element to it. So anyways, that's what I get from that fragrance. And I still get that now, even though I mix some other oil with it, but it just smells better. It's more fruity, in my opinion. So anyways, also the scent throw is very good. So again, that's what I'm looking for when I make a candle. I want to be able to make it and use it the same day and still have a good scent throw. So the scent throw is a lot better now that I added that other essential oil. Why do I keep saying essential oil? I don't know. Now that I added that other fragrance oil, the scent throw is a lot better. And it could also be because I have 2 wicks now instead of 1. So I'm about to move this candle into my living room because I am also about to start testing Mayfield from 1617 in a different jar. So I'm going to move this out into another room. Okay, y'all. I am trying not to fall off of this stool I'm standing on and record this. But anyway, so I don't know how long it's been. Let me see. I got back at 3 o'clock and it's about 5 o'clock. It's been about 2 hours since I relit this candle. I did move it to my fireplace. Excuse the soot on the fireplace, okay? I test candles over here a lot. So it is now in my living room, and the scent throw is strong, okay? I can smell it in my living room. I had put it in my room for a little bit. I can smell it in there. When I took it out of the bathroom, it lingered in there for a long time. So the scent throw is not going to be an issue with this one, which is good because it's a smaller candle. So for example, I usually make bigger candles like this, and you don't really have to worry about the scent throw. But when you have a smaller candle like this, or like this tiny one, you want to make sure you're using fragrances that have good scent throws. Still set the expectation for people like, hey, this is a smaller candle, so don't be expecting it to like smell up a whole ballroom or something like that. But You do want to try to use really strong fragrance oils when you have a smaller candle. So I'm happy to report this one is very strong. I still am trying to figure out how I feel about the smoky, musky element. It's meant to be that way. I think the scent is what it's supposed to be. It's what is it called? Grand Domme, and they say it's like old world French, something like that. I think it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I just didn't necessarily know what that would smell like. But now that I'm smelling it, it smells like how it's supposed to be. Also, I added lime fragrance oil if you weren't paying attention to the earlier clip. So the lime fragrance oil is what I feel like is making this strong. It wasn't as strong before I added the lime to it, okay? So I don't think it would be as strong on its own, the Grand Domme fragrance oil. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anything else? If I had something else to say, I can't remember it. So, I will see y'all in the next clip. Bye. I will come back and show y'all what the candle looks like when the light is off and I don't have my flash on my camera. So, this is what the candle jar looks like when it is illuminated at night. So I think this is a very nice looking jar. Actually, I might take a picture. I'm gonna take a picture of this to use on my website. But anyway, see y'all in the next clip. This candle has been lit for about 3 hours. I went ahead and blew it out. As you can see, there is mushrooming. So every time I try to venture away from CDN wicks, this is what happens. There's a mushroom or something stupid happening. Not the end of the world, but at the end of the day, I don't like it for it only being 3 hours. So I will probably in the future just go ahead and use 2 CDN3s or maybe even 2 CDN2s. I don't have too much experience with using those except for using them in a very, very narrow jar. They're religious jars. So I would probably use 2 CDN3s with this. Or maybe I would try 1 CDN10. I'm not sure, but the 1 CDN6 was not working for this type of wax. And that is based on their recommendation, but that recommendation was not for this type of wax. Their recommendations are based on if you use their wax. By their, I mean 1617. So, yeah, it's possible that because I'm using 464, going up to the CDN10 wouldn't have been a bad idea. But anyway, so I'm about to trim this and relight it. So see y'all in the next clip. So this candle has been lit for about 8 hours. Not 8 hours, 10 hours. I lit it at 8 o'clock, 8 something this morning, and it is 6 something in the afternoon. I have not blown it out at all. So you can see a tiny bit of soot, just a little bit around the edges, and the flame isn't out of control or anything. Now you all know or should know by now, or if you don't know, I think they prefer 4 hours for you to, I was gonna say 4 to 6, but let's just stick to 4 hours. 4 hours is the maximum time that is suggested for you to have a candle lit before you blow it out, trim it, let it cool off a little bit, to ensure that the glass doesn't get too hot and crack or anything like that. But I push the limits as a candle maker just to see what's going to happen. So I will say for this to have been lit for 10 hours, not bad. Not bad. This is where we are as far as how much is left. I don't know if y'all can see. We're about right here. That's about how much is left in the jar. So, I'm gonna go ahead and be responsible and blow this out. Now, I'm just ready for it to be to the end so I can make my video. As far as the scent, I do like the scent now. It took me a minute to figure out if I liked it or if I didn't like it. But I do like this scent. It is strong. It was wafting into my bedroom last night. I have it in the living room right now. And I was like, oh, I can smell this. It went through the foyer and the hallway and into my bedroom. So So I do like the scent, but remember I added some margarita fragrance oil, which is basically just lime fragrance oil. I really am liking this jar from 1617. This is the West Coast jar that comes with the lid, and they have it in matte white, matte black, frosted, glossy, and they have some other colors also. I'm gonna try the chocolate one for sure. I really like these. I'm going to continue to purchase them because I want to have some more affordable candles in my candle line, and these jars are affordable, and they still look nice, and they come with a lid. So I really do like these jars. I will probably do some more testing. I always tell y'all bye, and then I come back because I can't remember if I took a certain take or whatever. So I don't know. I may or may not have already took a clip of what this candle looks like when it is dark in a room. But if I didn't, I did want to let y'all see the glow. So this is what the glow of the candle looks like. Very nice ambiance, nice glow there, okay? So anyway, just wanted to show y'all that, and for real this time, I'm gonna see y'all in the next clip. Hey y'all, so as you can see, we are pretty much to the end of burning this candle. You can see the metal parts of the wick holders now. That little black part in there, that's just because when I trimmed the wick, it kind of fell in there, so ignore that. Which you can't ignore it now because I just pointed it out, right? Okay, so we are right here. This is where the wax level is. Right where this words, pretty much where these words are. So right there. That's where we are. So we are pretty much almost done burning this candle. As you all can see, this pretty much was a success as far as using this combination. If you don't like mushrooming, then you might want to try a different combination. It wasn't mushrooming to the point where it would be dangerous, where the flame would be too large. It was just mushrooming to the point where it just wasn't cute. Like, it's just not cute to see that, but it wasn't affecting the functionality or the safety of the candle. Other than that, I feel like this would be a fine combination to use. My mom did come over today. I asked her, did she like the scent? Because I was so iffy. I wasn't sure. She said she likes it, so I am going to continue using this. See y'all in the next clip. So, I didn't get to capture this, but we got to the end. So, it's hard to see. I'm trying to make it to where y'all can see, but we got towards the end of the wick, basically. So we have a little bit of wax left over. I'm going to put this on a candle warmer to melt the wax so I can clean this jar out, and I am going to test this jar again. I'm going to try a CDN 10 to see if that works. But as far as these two, here 745, I believe is what I used. They were okay. A little bit more mushrooming than what I would like, but not in a dangerous way, not in a way that the flame would be too large or the jar would get too hot. It's just more of an aesthetics thing, but not necessarily a functionality thing. So if that's something that bothers you, you might want to try a different type of wick or a different type of wax. You can see there is some soot around the jar, but again, I did leave these candles burning longer than the recommended time, just because I like to push it a little bit when I'm testing candles, because we know customers don't always follow directions and they do what they want to do. You know, they don't listen. You tell them it's 4 hours max and they gonna push the limits, okay? I deal with enough candle fires at work to know people don't listen. So I like to push the limits just to see what's gonna happen. So my final thoughts as far as this, I'm testing the scent for the first time. Testing the jar for the first time was, hold on, let me go get it. All right, so the scent that I started with was Grand Domme or Grand Domme from 1617. I think they have the notes. So the notes are bergamot, lavender, Catarini tobacco, and balsam. I went ahead and added some margarita fragrance oil from Nature's Garden, and I wanted it to be more fruity. I wanted it to be more bergamot, lime, citrus type of smell, because I'm looking to create a spa line. So went ahead and mixed that in there, and I actually liked it a lot better. It also made it stronger. So that is my analysis or whatever on the fragrance oil. As far as the jar, love the jar. Again, this jar comes with a lid. Hold on. So this jar comes with a lid. It's a wood lid. As you can see, it has the rubber gasket on it, so it fits tight and snug. So I really like this jar. I'm actually going to buy this jar in the other colors. It's a pretty good size, especially if you use fragrance oils that are pretty strong. I'm going to work on testing a few more wicks though, to see which wick is going to be best. That's pretty much it, because I've already been talking a lot. So thank you for taking the time to watch, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.